Bala Sankuratri, Convenor Global Encyclopaedia of Ramayana. So rather than saying the Convenor Global Encyclopaedia of Ramayana, I have to say that I'm a friend of Sri Lanka since past 15 years. It is over 1.5 decade. I've been working with Sri Lanka from the times I have my travel company, long back. So now that was the past job, and now I'm no more doing the travel industry work. But it was that job which made me attracted to this beautiful island, Lanka, and the beautiful legends of Ravana down here in Lanka. Ramayana, or Rama Ravana Katha, is a fascinating story that binds both Lanka and India. In this episode, I would like to discuss with you, the audience, about something very interesting that is captivated so virgin in this island of Sri Lanka. The minute we hear the name Sri Lanka or Lanka, what that flashes into the mind is Ravana or Ramayana. When there are over 50 sites connected to Ramayana and Rama Ravana Katha in Sri Lanka is having a no substitutional option. Means Sri Lanka is the only one country which cannot be replaced by any other country to promote this and benefit out of it through tourism, through cultural, to heritage ties between India and Sri Lanka, and of course with Nepal and other countries like Southeast Asians, Indonesia or Thailand or whatever. Today there are over 100 countries in the world which are having direct or indirect connections to this most ancient epic, Ramayana. And there are over at least 10 international Ramayana conferences which generally happen on every year. And there are few which happens once in 2 years, once in 3 years. Those are the international platforms where these countries having the Ramayana connectivity come together to discuss the shared culture, shared heritage, and discuss on the elements of how to improve the tourism connectivity, cultural connectivity, tourism economy, cultural economy, etc. But somehow I feel that there is a lacuna from Sri Lanka side when it comes to participation in these international conferences. So there is definitely a need where Sri Lanka has to stage itself on these international platforms. Let us now come back to what does Sri Lanka has to offer to the world when it comes to Rama Ravana Katha is concerned. As we get deeper into the subject, we will be exploring a slightly research-oriented content also related to this land, Sri Lanka. I'm speaking to you right from Colombo in Sri Lanka. Great. When it comes to Ramayana, the first version what we have to consider as an authentic version of Ramayana is Valmiki's version of Ramayana. That is the ultimate. That is the version which gives all logical reasonings and authenticity to the text. Why does it give so much of authenticity to the text? Because Valmiki's version is the first version of Ramayana, and that is the at most detailed version till date. There are thousands of Ramayanas which have been written, retold again and again, but most of them are the simplified versions. They don't speak in as detail as Valmiki speaks. Reading Valmiki's version is not that easy for a very general audience because he has a very unique style. Of narrating a subject. Many assume that Lava and Kusha, who are the sons of Rama, are coming after the episode of the war. But in Valmiki Ramayana, these two characters comes in the very beginning itself. They come in the very beginning itself, and Valmiki narrating the story of Rama to them is the whole process of documenting the whole Ramayana. Going further, when it comes to the Valmiki version, he spoke about not just the story of Ram, not just the story of Ravan, not just the story of Hanuman, not just the story of Sita, but he embedded, while telling the story of these iconic characters, he embedded the history of those times. He embedded the science of those times. He embedded the technologies of those times. He embedded the geography of those times into to the Ramayana itself. In simple words, the Valmiki's version of Ramayana is like the encyclopedia of those days. For us to understand our ancestors, reading Ramayana is very important. That is the whole encyclopedia of those days. To understand how our ancestors lived, to understand what does our ancestors have in their regular social life, what is the technologies they are using, what amount of knowledge they have on different sciences, we need to learn Ramayana as a cultural subject, as an educational subject. Unfortunately, today we have given too much of polish to Ramayana on a religious lines, but in reality, Ramayana has absolutely nothing or very little to do with religion. It is more of a cultural and heritage text. It is speaking about the historical characters who lived on this land, be it Rama or be it Ravana. Let us see some of the trail, how beautiful the trail can be done when it comes to covering the Ramayana Trail in Sri Lanka, how beautifully it can be done. I'll give you one by one example which will give you some interesting elements. The minute you land in Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo, so you can go visit to the places related to Ramayana, be it Rumasala in down south, be it Matale in the central region, be it Koneshwaram Temple in the northeastern part, be it Usangoda in the down south, be it Sita Temple or Ashoka Vatika Temple in the central region, Nurelia. All these are having connections to Ramayana. Does this have only connections? What other cultural relations they have? Are there any logical reasoning that this is the place where Ramayana did happen? Do we have any logical understanding on that? Let us get into it. When it comes to, I'll pick up one or 2 points here. There is a place called Rumasala in the down south of. This is the local legends here in Sri Lanka have something to say that this Rumasala is connected to Sanjeevani mountain or the Aushadhi mountain, which is mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana, where Hanuman has brought these Aushadhi or the medicinal plants from that region to Sri Lanka, as per Valmiki Ramayana twice, not just once. One is for the treatment of Vanaras and the other time is for the treatment of Lakshmana, brother of Rama. So the parts of the Sanjeevani are being left over in different parts of Lanka, of which one is Rumasala, is the local legend. Now, let us see the linguistical connections. What does the word Rumasala actually mean in the local language? What does the word Rumasala actually mean in the local language? So here in Sri Lanka, the local language, the Sala means the place, like how we have it in India, Patashala. In the same way, it is like Laksala here. The Sala means the name of it's a place. But what does the word Ruma means? How does this land, Rumasala, got the name Ruma to it? See, normally when any new place is being added to the country, naming it against their leader's name or the culture's name is very common. So, for example, even the international airport here in Colombo, Bandaranaike International Airport, is named against a leader here. Likewise, Shivaji International Airport in Mumbai, or Indira Gandhi International Airport in Delhi, or Rajiv Gandhi International Airport in Hyderabad, so Veer Savarkar International Airport in Port Blair, all these are named against a leader of the place. When a new thing comes to the land, naming it with the leader or something related to the culture is very common. That is the part of the human evolution. When this is brought, when these plants are brought and placed in this area by Hanuman, this is something new to this land. So when it is something new to this land, the new thing should have a new name, and that's why I named it as Rumasala, because it was brought by Hanuman. Ruma is the queen of Vanarasena. Sugriva's wife's name is Ruma Devi. That is how this place got the name Rumasala. Similarly, let's go to, unfortunately, before going to the other place, unfortunately today there is a legend connected to Rumasala around. A lot of people coming to this place to visit, but it is essential for the Sri Lanka tourism, any department, be it the Development Authority or the Promotional Bureau, whatever it is, the Sri Lanka's tourism responsibility is to build the infrastructure there. The facilities which are available today are having a great scope of, definitely there is a huge scope of development required in these places. Likewise, another place which is having immense potential related to Rama Ravana legend in Sri Lanka, which is having connection not only to the Ramayana as a cultural text. I don't bring religion into this. As a cultural text, Ramayana, it is also having a slight connection to the Buddhist culture also. Let us come to this central region, Matale district. When we're talking about, there are 4 places we need to talk simultaneously. One is the Matale, the district itself, how the word Matale has come into existence, and very close to this Matale is a place called Dunuvila. What is Dunuvila has to do? In the close proximity is Yudaganava. There are multiple Yudaganavas. Yudaganava generally means the place of war or the battleground. So there are multiple Yudaganavas in Sri Lanka. That is how even the Valmiki Ramayana describes the whole team of Ravana is divided into 5 different groups, and likewise Rama's team, the Vanara's team, is also divided into 5 troops, and the 5 troops fought in different parts of the island. More or less they fought the entire island actually. Now one of the Yudaganava is very close to this Matale region, in the close proximity, not more than 30-40 kilometers. Whatever I am speaking now is in the radius of 30-40 kilometers itself. So Matale, Yudaganava, Dunuvila, and the 4th one is Yahangala. It's also called bedrock. Now let us come to one by one what is the importance of it. Yudaganava is the place where the final battle is considered. Yudaganava near Matale, in the wildlife sanctuary close by, is the place where it is considered the final battle, not the entire Vanara Sena battle, the final battle between the titans, the Ram and Ravana fought, is considered to be having relation to this Yudaganava. And in the close proximity is Dunuvila. Dunuvila is the place where it is considered that Ravana has his last breath. That is the place he left this world and went away. Dunuvila. Now Dunuvila means, what does it mean in the local language? It means pool of arrows, or it means pool of violence. Pool of arrows or pool of violence. And the same, now when it comes to the Valmiki Ramayana, this place where Ravana has left his last breath is exactly described as the pool of blood or pool of violence in the Valmiki's version also. And then comes Yahangala. After passing of Ravana, in Valmiki's version, Vibhishana will be in a dilemma how to conduct these the rituals, because he went on to Rama's side. Now his brother is defeated. So how should he do the final rituals, or should he not do the final rituals, etc., are multiple questions what Vibhishana was having. Then it was Ram who says, Vibhishana, your brother died in the war field like a warrior, and he will definitely go to the Swargaloka. These are the words told by King Rama at that time. And he also says, Maranasyani Vairani. Excuse me if I have pronounced anything wrong in Sanskrit. Maranasyani Vairani, which means having any rivalry or exhibiting any hatred to a person who has left this land, left this world, is not correct, is a sin. So if there is anybody who's trying to promote negativity or on Ravana, which simply means, even if he or she is the devotee of Rama, it is simply means that they are disobeying Rama's words. Rama clearly said, do not show any hatred to any person who left this world. And if there is anybody anywhere in the world on the name of religion portraying Ravana badly, which simply means that they are disobeying Rama also. And now, in this condition, Rama says, Vibhishana, you have to do the rituals in a grand way. Your brother passed away in the war field, and if he passed away like a warrior, passing away in the warrior means he will go to Swarga. So that, and then how did Vibhishana do the grandeur send-off, send-off to Ravana, how those ceremonial activities are being conducted is so grandly mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. The whole Valmiki allots the whole chapter, one full chapter is only assigned to tell the grandeur send-off of King Ravana. How the massive animals are used, how sandalwoods are used, how gold is used, all this stuff are being so beautifully described by Maharshi Valmiki, and he allots the entire chapter to narrate this stuff. And equally so grandeur is the local legend here in Sri Lanka, which is again having close proximity to this region, and that is Yahangala. They give it's on a bedrock, where this Yahangala is a rock which is a mountain or a mountain surrounded by the other mountain ranges. So which means this mountain is having a clear view for all the people standing on the other mountains around it. This mountain is centrally located, and the mountain top is not just a peak. It is flat like a plateau, but that flatness is tilted to a side, which means whatever is happening on that tilted plateau-like structure is visible to all the mountains around, which means visible to all the people standing on the mountains around it, as this Yahangala is centrally located. And the final rituals are made, and that place is what the local legend says, which exactly tallies with Valmiki's grandiousness as well. And all these places are close to Matale. Now let us come to this place called Matale. This Matale, which is close to all this proximity, has something very strong connection, which we are going to tell you now. That is, how did the word Matale actually come? During the final battle, Ram has come from somewhere else. He doesn't have a chariot here to fight on the warfield. Ravana is having the chariot on the warfield. So he is definitely on an advantageous position. And it was at that time, Ravana's son, Meghanada, has defeated Indra in the previous time. When Meghanada defeated Indra, he got the title Indrajit. And it is this time where Indra sends his chariot to Rama's support. And he sends his weapons to Rama's support. And he sends his charioteer to Rama's support. The charioteer of Indra comes to Rama at this place and gives the chariot and offers himself to be his charioteer in the war. And this charioteer's name is Matale. And in the Buddhist cultural references, Indra is called as Sakra, and Sakra's charioteer is still called as Matale. These words have somehow traveled or managed to travel millions of years and finally reached to our stage. And it is the time for the Sri Lanka tourism to take the advantage of it. Today what we have in these regions in a presentable condition, sadly there is not much to have it in a presentable condition. It is Sri Lanka's tourism's responsibility or the other cultural department's responsibility to take care of these places, build the monuments there or build the signboards, make the infrastructure developed and get the things roll up and running for the benefit of the shared cultural values with Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, etc. Today, Bali is making more money out of Ramayana tourism than Sri Lanka. This is a cultural connection what we have to make. So like this, there are many other things, many other connections that Sri Lanka has to offer. Of course, Ashoka Vatika temple is definitely there. Everyone has to come visit the place. So I suggest that the audience from across the world to come and visit these places of Sri Lanka, not just as a religious subject, as a cultural trail, because people may go to Ayodhya to worship Rama, but they have to come to Sri Lanka to learn Rama. And it is time for Sri Lankan tourism, Sri Lankan culture, Sri Lankan authorities to come together, discuss with the counterpart India, and to have some strategic move to work together in getting this up and running. The shared culture has to get on in the right pace, and I think this is the right time for both the governments to look into how a strategical move, strategical establishment or institutionalizing the whole process can be done. I think this is the right time for Sri Lanka to take the initiative and start discussion with the Indian counterparts and get this shared culture up and running. If we continue the discussion, it may go for ages together, and maybe at this point I will take leave for the day, and I hope I will be seeing you again down the line. Thanks to the Travel Voice for giving me this opportunity to interact with the global audience. Thanks a lot. Namaste and Aibon once again.